Hey everyone, welcome back to the Loopy Studio. Today I'm here to talk about the newest Pixar movie, Inside Out 2. And this is very exciting because I was really looking forward to the second one because I loved the first one. I have a lot of good memories of the first one. It was a great movie. So going into the second one, I had very high expectations, and I think it did not disappoint. I think it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I actually went two different times. The first time with my mom and the second time with my cousin and her friend. So I got to see it double the time, and it made me actually enjoy it even more, if that's even possible. Um, so before we dive right in, disclaimer: it has been a while since I've seen the first movie, and I think like 99% sure I posted a movie review of this back on my channel. I'm not going to link it below because that was a different time. I was a little kid when I posted that. But I mean, if you want to go find it and watch it, that's totally up to you. But no, kind of going into this with like a fresh start of the whole movie. So Inside Out 2, I'm just literally pulling up a summary right now. So it's basically we start out. Riley is now a teenager. It's a bit of a time jump from the first um movie, and she's kind of going through puberty is what this movie's all about. We have her playing hockey, and she gets the opportunity to go to this hockey camp with her friends Bree and Grace, and then we find out that Bree and Grace are actually going to a different school in the fall, and now Riley is going to be all alone in high school, and this causes her to become pretty nervous, and um yeah, she just isn't sure quite what to do, but thankfully that's why she has those people in her brain helping her. Basically, we do have our core five emotions back. We have joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. Um, and I'm pretty sure some of them are voiced by the OGs and some of them are not. I think it's pretty cool that they were able to get people back for it because the first movie came out in 2015, which means that they probably didn't haven't really voiced the characters for probably 10 years ago. So I mean, it's pretty cool that they were able to get people back for this. But no, I enjoyed seeing the five of them interact again. I think there's just something so special about their dynamic, and there was a lot of humor. I knew there was going to be new emotions, but I my theory, I guess, in the back of my mind was that they were all going to like be working together to help Riley. I didn't think that like the new emotions would take over, but I do kind of like that they did because it makes a lot of sense for Riley growing up and all of that. So we do have new emotions coming in. Basically, right when Riley gets to hockey camp, and after she discovers that her friends are going to a different school, she starts crying outside, and then she meets this new girl named Val. She, I guess, is going to be a sophomore, and she's like a really good player on the hockey team, and she pretty much wants to, help Riley in any way that she can. And Riley has to make a difficult decision at this point. Like, does she choose her friends or does she choose Val and her friends? And it's a pretty big struggle throughout the whole movie. And this is when we meet the new emotions. We meet anxiety, who's I know is voiced by Maya Hawke, and she did a great job with it. And then we have envy, and then we have ennui, boredom, okay, boredom. I'm probably just gonna say boredom. Just the other name is just kind of odd. I've never even heard that name before. And then we have embarrassment. So, and I think the point of these new emotions were to represent new era for Riley because these are all teenage emotions. Like the core five were all like child emotions, and then when you move into a teenager, you gain new emotions. I know I did, and I know I experienced every single one of the new emotions brought in. And then we also have a future emotion called nostalgia, who's just hiding away in headquarters, which is pretty funny, and she comes out a couple of times during the movie. um but no, I enjoyed the introduction of the new emotions, but pretty quickly we have anxiety wanting to take control of everything with Riley, and saying like she has to become friends with Val, otherwise she's going to be lonely next year. So that it kind of goes in that direction. But then we also have um Riley struggling, like, do I stay friends with my old friends? Because at first we kind of have both joy and anxiety kind of battling over control of the board and of Riley's emotions. Um, and then Riley's gets the whole and her friends get the whole team's phones taken away, and I think it's after that when anxiety locks they lock them all up in a jar and say that we're going to take over Riley, and it's after that that Riley kind of starts to ditch her friends and really focus on hockey. And the overlooming thing, like thought process that Riley has at the moment, thanks to the core five's emotions, that she's a good person. Um, and and at first she still thinks that way, and that's still the overall thought. But then things quickly start to spiral because we have her really starting to up her game at hockey. She wants to impress Val. She wants to impress the coach. She feels pressure from the other players, saying that whatever the coach thinks about you is in this notebook, and then Riley feels like she has to go look at the notebook, and obviously because of what the new emotions are controlling her, like all these teenage emotions, she does make the mistake by looking at the notebook, and she finds out that the coach doesn't think that she's ready, and this just makes her want to go even farther in, like into this spiral, and to really try her hardest at the scrimmage. And we also have um, sarcasm coming out with her. And sarcasm causes like everything to like explode in the headquarter area, which is pretty funny. Um, but when she like is talking about her that she liked this band, but then she realizes like, oh crap, like these are high schoolers, they're not going to like a middle school band, and then she starts to lie and like be sarcastic about it, and her friends catch her and they're pretty upset about that. So again, there's the struggle between these two worlds. But what I will say is that when you're going into high school, you do have to mature some. And the way that her and her friends were acting were not the way that I was acting with my friends at that age. I think that was more like maybe an upper elementary school type of thing. And then in middle school, it was hard, but I think I did mature some and move on from just that silly, goofy stage. But to each their own. I think it depends on how the type of friendship you have with your friends too. I think it was just different. But basically, when yeah, so she has to try really hard at this scrimmage, and she wants to score 3 goals because Val made the team by scoring 2 goals at the scrimmage. So she feels the pressure to score 3 goals. All this time while the new board is taking over, the um, the core five are trying to get back to headquarters, and they send Sadness up, and the rest of them are just trying. Yeah, they're trying to get back to headquarters, and they're trying to stop Anxiety. And because Anxiety tosses the positive good person thing out the window, and this is what really starts to have Riley spiral. So the four of them, they have to go save that blue thing and get it back to headquarters. Otherwise, Riley is gonna she's gonna develop this negativity in her mind. Um, and but we do have Sadness going up, and at one point she's able to take the control away from Boredom when he goes to sleep. And then it's when she was able to make her cry, but then she gets that taken away, and she ends up getting trapped by Anxiety. Um, but it was kind of cute. The little friendship between Embarrassment and Sadness was kind of cute, and how he helped her out and helped her, like, hit her with the books when she was about to get caught, and when he helped her down from getting trapped. Those were cute interactions. But basically during the scrimmage, she is not playing with her team members. She's just trying to score the goals on her own, and this is makes the her team members very upset. um, and she does score 2 goals, but on her third one, she accidentally hits her friend Grace. So she gets into the penalty box, and basically after this really sets up her big panic attack, and it's when Anxiety, uh, like everything starts to go out of control because, um, Anxiety replaces the blue spirally thingy with an orange one, and the message is she's not good enough. And actually that happened before the scrimmage, and this is what really makes her motivate her to try to prove herself. And anxiety, she didn't mean for that to be the message that she's not good enough, because even she was like, oh crap, like that wasn't what I originally wanted to do. She just wanted to help her be the best that she could at hockey. She didn't want to put doubt in Riley's mind. But basically, everything was ruined at that point because of how aggressive Riley got during that scrimmage, and then that led to her hitting Grace, and then going to the penalty box. And then anxiety tries to take over and get her back to normal, but then anxiety starts spiraling, and that's when Riley has the panic attack. And it's during this time that Joy and them finally get back to headquarters with the blue thing, and first they have to rip um, the orange thing off, which was the I'm not good enough thing, and they all work together to take that off, and then they replace it with the old blue thing. They find out that that actually doesn't work anymore, and they replace it with something new, and it's pretty much Riley having all these different emotions, like I'm happy, I'm a good person. I don't know if I'm not. I think I'm not good enough is one of them, but like I'm selfish, I'm mean, I'm nice, I care. It's like all these different emotions that like just show that she's growing up and that she doesn't just have the core five anymore. She has every single one of them, and I think by the end of it, I really liked how they were able to work together to help Riley. And I guess in the future, they're all going to be like a team, and that's I think it was like a really nice transition. And then we have Joy telling anxiety you have to let go of her, and she does. And then it's after that when Riley's panic attack stops and she makes up with her friends Bree and Grace, um and they all hug. And then we have Riley like playing on the rink, and Joy's controlling her, and she's just happy, and she doesn't feel all this pressure anymore because she has all these emotions, but they're more balanced. They're not just negative like they were before. um and we see that she we don't the cliffhanger actually is that we don't know whether she makes the team, um for the high school team. We see that she is in high school with Val and her friends though, and um so that's kind of like the cliffhanger. So that was like a nice little thing. I bet that she made the team. I think that's going to be really good for her, and she showed a lot of growth throughout the movie, and she went through a lot, but I'm proud of her where she ended up. And I think it's very realistic for a teenager to face these issues. I can't say I faced every single one of the issue that she did. Um, but I'm going to be a senior in the fall, so I think I've kind of moved past a lot of the early puberty and all of those emotions that happened with Riley. So it's kind of actually easier for me to relate because I do think little kids, it would be harder for them to understand a lot of what happened in this movie, where I think the first one could definitely be centered towards those little kids. I think this could be upper elementary and middle school, but even me and my cousin and our friend who's older than me went to see this, and me and my mom went to see it. Like, this movie appeals to all ages, but I will say probably upper elementary and older is probably what the target audience is, but really, again, anyone could watch it. But I kind of liked that it was more mature, not super mature, but it made sense because she's growing up, she's becoming a teenager. She can't just have the core five emotions: joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust. She just can't. And um she has to develop and grow new emotions, and I think the movie did a great job of portraying that message. And I really liked it. If I had to give the movie a grade, I would give it an A. It was really good. I can't think of any complaints I really have. um I did think that some of those scenes where they were trapped in the jar with Bloofy and Pouchy and the video game character and Dark Secrets, that those were kind of dumb. But I mean, I think that was trying to appeal to like the little kids. I thought, like, give them something, because they very much felt like Bloofy was being like a Mickey Mouse ripoff and Pouchy was being a Toodles ripoff. That's what I thought. But um no, that was very minor in the scheme of things. Those scenes were kind of cringy, but they were also funny too. I especially loved when Anger like just grab Pouchy and like open his mouth and like search for things. That was pretty funny. Anger was consistently a funny character. I've always liked him, and he was definitely more grounded in this movie. But again, I enjoyed all the characters in this movie. I think actually Joy really stood out though as probably she was a really good lead in this, and Anxiety did a great job too, even though she was the negative side of things. But she did a great job of portraying that ultimate battle with Riley's emotions, with joy and anxiety. But I'm gonna get off of here. So comment down below your thoughts on Inside Out 2. Do you want there to be an Inside Out 3? I would love it. I think maybe her in high school would be really cool. But it's not something I need, but it's something that would be cool. So yeah, comment down below your thoughts on that, and I will see you soon. Next week I'm actually going on vacation, so I won't really be back until early July, but I'll see you guys then for more videos. And yeah, so thanks everyone for listening, and bye everyone.